I spent a little bit of time with BMF. This was around 2004, I think. I had dropped this Tupac mixtape called Rap Phenomenon, which got really big, and Blue Da Vinci and them were fans of the mixtape. So they flew me and a bunch of other DJs out to Atlanta just to party with them. And at one point, I ended up at Meech's house. May have been, I guess your grandmother was there cooking, and it was a bunch of, I remember it was he had the white Ferrari, the white Ferrari you were talking about was in the
Yeah, yeah,
garage.
the drop top. Yep,
Yeah, exactly, with the see-through engine, I think.
yep. That's a spider.
Yep,
Yeah, yep.
exactly. And I remember hanging out with all these guys, and they partied on a level I'd never seen before. And I remember seeing the world as BMF's
Billboard. Yep.
billboards. There was like three of them, I think, around Atlanta.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. The stories still to this day, he tell me stories like new stories I hear all the time. It's crazy. Still can't believe it.
Well, not only do you find out about your dad's background, but you also find out that he's not on a job interview. He got sentenced to 30 years.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at first it had me emotional, but just I couldn't like when I went to go see him for the first time while he was in Detroit. When he first got indicted, when I went to go see him, and he was behind the glass, I still remember he would just tell me, "Don't cry, don't cry." But yeah, that was the first time I ever cried when I went to go see him. After that, every other time I didn't cry. Every time I just held it up. I just know he was gonna come home soon. He just you know,
Yeah, I mean, you're how old when you see him behind glass? 11 years old?
when he first that's when he first got indicted. So I was probably around 8, 9.
Okay. Oh, but you hadn't looked up what happened yet.
No, I didn't know what happened yet at all.
Okay, but you see your dad behind glass and you can't actually touch him, and
Yeah, that's what made me look it up after I went to go see him.
okay. So, I read the BMF book, the one
Right.
that came out, and someone I know, Cavario, actually even did an interview with Big Meech in prison that we put out on VladTV. You know what I'm talking about? It's an audio interview.
I think I heard that one. Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
years back. Yeah, okay.
Were you close to your uncle, Southwest T?
I mean, a little bit. I seen him. He used to, come around a lot, or a little bit. I seen him. I just don't remember vividly being with him a lot. He used to be on the West Coast, so I just, I seen him. I remember seeing him, but we weren't always together like that.
Well, the case was interesting because they didn't really catch Big Meech with anything.
At all. Yeah.
Big Meech never talked on the phone, was never caught with any narcotics. There was really a bunch of circumstantial type stuff
Right.
that got him locked up. And I remember clearly, because I remember I'd read about this, and I remember, your dad talked about this in the interview. He was talking about how
God really had his hand on me that whole time, and my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love him to death, man. Don't get me wrong. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And he stood strong, too. So, I mean, he had a beautiful life. And I plenty of brothers that got killed. One brother living, the other brother dead. You know what I'm saying? Shit, me and him both enjoyed life. You know what I'm saying? He was a little more laid back, but he loved that phone. And that phone got us in trouble.
Yeah, my dad hated the phone. He never a phone person.
right, but his brother, I guess, was in love with the phone, and the feds had recorded tons and tons of stuff
Right.
on your uncle's phone, which then kind of caused the whole case to become what it was. People started to turn against each other, start testifying, and so forth, and it just kind of became a big,
Right.
a big thing. Your dad accepted, I guess, the plea deal to 30 years, right?
Right. Right.
Because I guess there was a chance.
Yeah, if he would have
I
fought it.
remember he described it.
Right. There was a chance if he would have fought it, he could have got life. Right.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if he would have blown trial, they would have given him life without any sort of possibility of parole. Whereas if he pleaded, he can get 30, and then he could try to work on it,
Right.
work
Yeah.
on the case. When you talk to your dad about that case and what went down, and Because I remember the one thing I noticed that was sort of interesting about BMF was the closeness and the camaraderie between everybody there.
Right.
You know, and I remember there was that one interview.
To be honest, man, it's just family, loyalty, and like he used to say, death before dishonor. Everybody was family. Everybody moved as one, like he said, and everybody was loyal to each other. It was just like that's like he said, nobody falls out over no girls. That's the last thing they were worried about. They shared them. It hit them all, like he said. So it's just, it's like he said, it had never happened again. I don't think it ever happened again. But to be honest, you just have to have, I guess you just have to have loyal people around you and people that just won't switch up for nothing. People that down the ride.
Well, he had a lot of very loyal people around him, but not everyone stayed loyal.
Not everyone, of course, not everyone, but everybody that was around, like really with us all the time, with him daily, they're definitely the ones that were loyal. So, you know, he had a good 11 around him every day. Besides, you know, it was hundreds on his case, but he had a good 11, 12 people around him daily. And those are the people that went with him everywhere, moved around with him all the time, 24/7. So those are the people that, just like him,